Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tournament 32 of Omega Limit Break. My name is Cameron Coldcloud. I will be your host for this evening. Where am I? There I am. Okay. I'm gonna scooch over here. Last week, we had begun a new era of Omega. Because, you know, Jackson era instead of Jackson era. Last man standing was Gavin Obey, current number 2 in the world. Checks out. Last woman standing was, of course, Isabella Folsom. That checks out. Chatter's champion is Donovan Matoyer. And your best debutant was Seigo Shimizu. There have been, obviously, several adjustments made to the course since last week. But as of the day I'm recording this, excuse me, stretching. I will have been on vacation, out of state for a few days. And I'll be gone for like the next few weeks. So this tournament and the next one will be pre-recorded. So, as of the day we're recording this, it's August 1st. And it'll be coming out on next Thursday, hopefully. But yeah, if you're watching this, welcome to the premiere. First one of my tournaments to do this. Jackpot goes up to $900,000 for this era. For every tournament that there isn't a cons in, it will go up by $100,000. So with that in mind, it's time to kick off Stage 1. Stage 1 is Tachyon Circuit. It consists of 3 laps, each of which has a set of 5 obstacles. Lap 1 consists of the following. Spin Bridge. From Sasuke. We all know the freaking Spin Bridge. Angle Ladder Jr. An easier version of the Angle Ladder, hence the name. Bungee Bungee. Bungee Bungee, which I believe is from WNL. Bungee Slider to another bungee. Spider Dive. Trampoline jump into a swinging spider segment that you have to time your dismount out of. Acceleration path is literally just an easier version of the ejector. Lap 2 starts with Spin Bridge EX, a buff version of Spin Bridge from Muso, with vertical transitions with each fall. Salmon Tilt, a twist on the salmon ladder where you have to walk your way up a set of offset runs. Bungee Road, which is from AW. Competitors cross a series of hanging bunches of bungee cords, and this is the version from AW8. Using only their hands, and transition to a hanging log to a dismount. Spider Corner, which is from Sharp Tank. 2 perpendicular sets of spider walk panels. To access the second one, the competitor crosses a ledge on one side of the corridor, then cats backwards into the second set. Finally, counter movement is an angled conveyor belt that competitors must run up. Lap 3 kicks off with Spin Bridge EX2. An even harder version of the Spin Bridge with 8 balls, and with each one there's a vertical transition. Very different to keep your foot. And judging by the fact that balance obstacles tend to be the bane of some of these competitors' existence, even top competitors on some occasions, these are ones to look out for. Gotta be careful about these. Salmon Ladder EX from Muso. A little bit of a hint. It has the word EX at the end of it. Probably comes from Muso. Double Salmon Ladder with 2 big jumps on the first side, a big upper transition, and 1 big jump on the second side. Bungee Bungee Bungee. Bungee Bungee Bungee. Platform suspended by bungees, or bungee bed, into a bungee cord slider into a fixed bungee. Spider Maze from Muso, which is jumping spider into a spider walk and a spider drop, and a zigzag spider walk, climb, whatever it is, and then spider trap doors at the end. Finally, 10 years under Stephen Harper. You're going up an escalator ramp that is going down. And if If you beat that in 275 seconds, you will then face Pythagoras, the first of 4 bosses. 15 debutants. If I recall correctly, we have 15 debutants, 16 chatters, and 8 women. Kicking off the roster. Kicking off this tournament tonight is Gil Morantz, who I believe is making his 2nd appearance. I'm going to do some recounting real quick. And we're back. Let's actually kick off stage 1, time for real, with Gil Morantz. And he times up, he fails on Salmon Ladder EX. Decent run so far, around knee-deep in the lap 3. Top 75 move on. 25 will be eliminated in this opening stage. Tomo Birdie trying not to be one of them. Definitely won't be, reaching the Salmon Ladder EX. Tomohiro Kawaguchi, former Sasuke finalist. Failing on Bungie after a save on Angle Ladder Jr. Oof, that man's cursed. Kane Koski. Ooh, he reaches lap 3. Very impressive for a 50-year-old. Casey DeViti. Bested by Angle Ladder Jr. About as well as I thought she did. Chatters tend to get eaten alive by this course. Brooks Bieber. Hold on. Oh, he times out at the end of the spider maze. Very close to the last obstacle. Viktor Baryshnikov. Bested by Spinbridge EX. And here comes your first of the debutants. Ryan Guild. Bested by the knee-deep into lap 2. Shrew Becker. Reaches lap 3 by the skin of his teeth. Gets to the end of the spin bridge, rather. Bo Lewis running next. Next chatter. Bested by the first obstacle. Josiah Singleton. Reaches near the end of lap 2. Hayate Kajihara, member of Kaji Koji Kaji. And will he reach? No! Did not have the time on 10 years. Member of the Black Tigers, Yuta Nakashima. Spider dive. Well, I mean, for a competitor as young as he is, he's very impressive. Here comes the champ, Caleb Bergstrom. Going on Bungie, the first segment. In lap 3. Dan Buckles. Never chatter. Spinbridge EX takes him out of it. And by the way, as was mentioned last week, in order to qualify for Omega as a chatter, you must make it through both stages of the Chatters Challenge. You must make it to the top 15. Annabella Heinrichs. That's by Savantons. Jason Behrens. Salmon Ladder EX. Reaches lap 3. Very impressive. Luke Dillon. Also reaches the start of lap 3. Nearly passes Spinbridge EX2. Carrington Andrews. Next debutant. He gets all the way to 10 years. The last obstacle of stage 1 besides the boss. Sole rep of Taiwan to my knowledge. Yu Chen Xiao. Bested by Salmon Ladder EX. And that second big jump. Victor De Bruyne. Also bested near the end of Salmon Ladder EX. Benjamin Reichman next. Saving on Bungie, but he's bested by Spinbridge EX at the start of lap 2. Adir Afrigan. Saving on AL Jr. Fails at the start of lap 2. Masashi Hioki. He's doing okay. He's bested by Spinbridge EX2. There will probably be a lot of people this tournament. And this era, for that matter, because it's a very difficult obstacle, and it's a balance obstacle, which clearly these ninjas haven't practiced. Well, they do, but not as often as they probably should. D. Render. He's bested by Spider Corner, nearly reaching lap 3. Elay Daggett. And I apologize for any mispronounced names or visual errors that you might see throughout this broadcast. Spider Maze. Very impressive for someone we haven't seen in a while. Another debutant in Jacob Zdrojkovsky. Like that, for example. AL Jr. takes out another debutant. Here's another one in D. Thompson. Never mind. Another one, Emma Pereira. Never mind. Angle Ladder Jr. after save on the descent, she fails on the ascent. Chatter, Jeffrey Ritchie. Spin Rich EX2. He does reach lap 3, by the way, which is very impressive. And reaching lap 3 is an impressive feat, much less for a Chatter. Not throwing shade against Chatters, but casual Chatters, like, these competitors that are stacked up against is on a whole other level. Nicholas Coolidge. And there is no room for error on this course. This course is made for the best of the best. Saving on the ascent of Angle Ladder Jr., but he's bested by Bungie. Michael Chow. Nearly a third of the way through the roster, and it's only been 10 minutes. Bested by Bungie Road. Or Spider Corner, sorry. Millie Baker, another debutant running next. Also bested on Bungie Road. Kyle Soderman. Haven't had anyone reach the boss yet. Saving on Salmon Tail, but he's bested by the Spider Corner. Phil Dragon, Hurricane Casillas. Hold on, Salmon Ladder EX. For a Chatter who's been on A&W. That is very impressive. Thomas Ballet. Never mind. Zach Toussaint, one of the few reps of Canada. He gets all the way to 10 years. And he takes the lead from, of all people, Kajihara. Simon Bruna. A miss on Salmon Tilt, and he's bested by Spider Corner. Flip. Ooh, Spider Dive after save on Bungie. Not the run he wanted for sure. Another Canadian, Kai Diol, and he's a Chatter for that matter. Bungie Road takes him out of it after save on Spin Bridge. Jun Sato. Will he reach? No! Spider Maze. Hold on 1 second. And we're back. Running next is Yuri Proktin. Multiple misses on Salmon Ladder EX. He manages to recover and get all the way to 10 years. Extremely impressive recovery. Max Goda. Never mind. Complete extremes of who does well and who doesn't. Flyboy Isaiah Thomas. Spider Corner. Nobody's reached the boss yet. Jack Andrews. We're reaching the second half of the roster in a moment. Huge save on Spin Bridge. He misses on Spider Dive. That is a lap 1 fail, not one he wanted for sure. Stefan Angermeyer, another debutant coming up. He does a bit better than Andrews did in terms of pacing. Nicholas Silva, another debutant. He does even worse. AL Jr. Here comes the champ, Jackson Erdos. Never mind! Spider Dive, that is a shocker. Eros, 34th out of 48. Not the spot you want to be in, especially considering the fact that there's 25 eliminations. He is not safe. Matthias Noirel, Ninja Warrior France champion. No! 2 misses on the Salmon Tilt that did cost him a lot of time. Well, it cost him a few seconds, but still. Weatherman, rounding out the first half of the roster, Joe Moravsky. Same on Spider Dive, but he's bested by Spider Corner. Let's not be great with Spider-Base officers. Seigo Shibisu, best debutant from last week. Save on Spider Dive, he gets all the way to Bungie Road. Mid-lap 2. Not too bad. Right, I can't talk. Aaron Majayakomo. And he's bested by Spin Bridge EX. Start of lap 2. Rhett Sims, the inventor. Bested by Bungie. Very strong competitor. If I recall correctly, he is an obstacle course designer, no formal. So you know he's good with technical stuff. Probably. Tatsuya Tada, star of Yamagata. Saving on the Spin Bridge EX, but he's bested by Bungie. I can't talk. Beast James McGrath. Saving on Salmon Tilt, and he's also bested by Bungie. Andrew Boyle's running next. Never mind. AL Jr. David Bergstrom right. Never mind. Bested by Angle Ladder Jr. 2 in a row. Doesn't bode well for this next debutant, Eric Loiseau, who fails on the same obstacle. We got a fail streak going on. Fred Dorrington breaks it by doing even worse. Spin breaks. Zach Aikenstein. He actually breaks the fail streak. Early fail streak. Salmon tilt. A miss on movement number 7. A fail on movement 9. Save on Spider Dive as well. Ol Yanek, former semifinalist, is out of it on the literal first step on the course. John Mack. It's not looking good. Failing on the second obstacle. Jackson Twait. Did someone get past lap 1? Zeke Huber. Acceleration path. Of all things, acceleration path. Probably one of, if not the easiest obstacle on this stage. Saving on the descent of Angle Ladder Jr. 42nd out of 64. Not great. A few spots away from the bubble, actually. Gardzielski does even worse. Kaio Nagano. He fails spin breaks. The balance obstacles. I mean, you gotta practice them eventually. Otherwise, they're gonna be the bane of your existence in these tournaments. It has been for so many competitors. Oliver Lutman. Finally, someone passes it and gets to lap 3. For someone as young as Oliver Lutman is, that's very impressive. Former semifinalist in OMEGA⁴. Which I still can't believe that. Amir Malik. Save on Salmon Letter EX. He gets to the Spider-Mans. EDW, former finalist, Enzo, gets all the way to Bungee after a save on Salmon Tilt. Mr. Musso, Philip Scott, on the other hand, is bested by the Spider Dive. We move on to Elijah Browning with a save on Spin Bridge, and he's bested by Spin Bridge EX. Jan Tatarovich, Ninja Warrior Poland champion. We're nearly 3/4 of the way through the roster. Nobody's reached the boss. Bungee takes out the Poland champion. Nora Brown John, former women's champion. That's by Spider Corner. For save on acceleration path of all things. The Prince Yusuke Morimoto, on the other hand, that's by Spider Corner near the end of lap 2. Table Ninja, Proto Sasuke champion, Sean Bryan. Bungee, can somebody get to the boss? It was only reached twice last week by Kane Lebsack and Gavin Obey, who's their last man standing. Salesman, Yuji Urushihara. Gets all the way to lap 3, eliminates Kaio Nagano and puts Gardzielski on the bubble. Jay Lewis may not move on. Your inaugural champion is in 62nd and he fails on Angle Ladder Jr. Will eliminate Gardzielski, though, unfortunately, putting us down to 15 chatters. Yannick on the bubble as we move on to Mr. Burnout, Jara Boyd. Save on Spin Breaks. Bested by Spider Corner. Eliminates Yannick. Katie Bone next. Save on Spider Dive. She gets all the way to the Spider Corner near the end of lap 2. Eliminates Dorrington. Puts Ballet on the bubble. Donovan Matoyer, your Chatter's champion. Reigning, defending, getting all the way to the Salmon Liner EX. Eliminates Thomas Ballet. It's D. Thompson, debutant on the bubble. Leon Sharif next. Eliminates D. Thompson, but fails on the Spider Dive. Might just be good enough to move on. Jackson Airdos is guaranteed to move on. He's going to be right on the bubble. Eliminates D. Thompson. Moves down to 6 women, 14 debutants. Jeremy Lauf running next. There we go. Bo Lewis on the bubble. Jackson Airdos is guaranteed to move on. Jeremy Lauf, last of the debutants tonight. Bested by Bungee. And just like that, Sharif's guaranteed to move on. Bo Lewis is on the bubble. Bo Lewis is out of it, sorry. Chatters are down to 14. We're about to be down to 13. Actually, I missed one. Casey DeVee on the bubble. Well, it doesn't really matter because she's about to be eliminated by Josiah Patel. Yep. That's stayed by Spider Corner, but that will be enough to eliminate the VG, but it's back down to 6 women and 3 chatters. Eric Loiseau is on the bubble. Ninja Warrior Australia champion and former last man standing on Omega, Zach Stolz. Did it a few weeks ago. Saving on the descent of AL Jr. Bested by Spider Corner. Eliminating Loiseau, putting us down to the 13 chatters. I cannot talk to them. Your current reigning and defending women's champion, Isabella Folsom. Here come the Folsoms! She gets all the way to 10 years! She did not have the time. But it will be obviously enough to eliminate Andrew Boyles. But Jacob Zed on the bubble. Neil Schrift still guaranteed to move on. Matthew Bradley. A save on Spin Bridge, but he's bested by the Angle Ladder Jr. I don't think that'll be good enough. No, it will not. Does eliminate Jacob Zed. 11 chatters left. Emma Pereira on the bubble. We're about to lose another debutant, maybe at the hands of the salaryman, Ryosuke Miyaoka. Will he beat? No! Nobody's reached the boss yet. Miyaoka nearly makes it to the top 5. Eliminates Pereira. 10 debutants and 5 women left. Nicholas Silva, another debutant, now on the bubble. Ninja Warrior Germany champion, Moritz Hans. Will not be the first to reach the boss. He does reach lap 3 though. Bungie. Eliminates Nicholas Silva. Single-digit debutants remaining. We've lost 4 debutants in the first stage. We still have 12 runners to go. Max Gunna is on the bubble. And our champion is first champion's about to be in a few runs. Technician, Tyler Smith. He's not the Bugman. Just misses out on the boss. But he does take the lead, take first on the leaderboard by around half a second. Eliminates Max Gunna. John Mack on the bubble. Number 1 ninja in the world, Noah Munier. But he's bested at the start of lap 2. Cut off, it's Bungie. 54th is good enough to move on. And it'll eliminate John Mack. Their first champion, Jay Lewis, is unfortunately on the bubble. Top 10 from last week begins with Kevin Rodriguez, aka K-Rod. That'll be good enough to eliminate Lewis. And if it wasn't for that miss on the Salmon Ladder EX, he may have made it to the boss. Eliminates Jay Lewis. Puts Bergstrom right on the bubble. Jackson Twait now guaranteed to move on. Asa Lashesa Reynolds, former finalist. Saving on AL Jr., but he's bested by Spider Corner. Bergstrom writes out of it. Kawaguchi on the bubble. Youngest champion in Ninja Warrior history. Certainly Ninja Israel history. Snor Samyach. Save on Spin Bridge. Several seconds too slow to reach the boss. He does reach 10 years. He does take the number 4 spot and eliminate Kawaguchi. Coolridge on the bubble. Here come the Beckstrands, starting with Luke. That's by Spider Maze. He makes a save on Spinbridge EX and on Spinbridge. Obviously enough to eliminate Coolridge and put Jeremy Louth on the bubble. James Sanello running next. 6 runners left to go. Salmon Ladder EX after a miss and a save on that first jump, but he could not make the second one. Eliminates Jeremy Louth though, putting us down to 8 debutants remaining. If I recall correctly, it should be at 9. I think I missed one. We'll have to check later. Matthew Bradley's on the bubble. Kingdom Ninja, Daniel Gill. Going into the semifinalists from last week. Bungie. In lap 3. He saves on acceleration paths and on Salmon Ladder EX on that last big jump. Matthew Bradley's eliminated. Mr. Musso on the bubble. Lucas Killian running next. That's by Spinbridge EX2 at the start of lap 3. Eliminates Philip Scott. 12 chatters left. Stefan Andremeyer is now on the bubble. It's not looking great, because here comes Phil Folsom. 2 misses on Salmon Ladder EX and a miss on Salmon Tilt. And he did everything he possibly could to time out on that stage, and he only misses it by 1.5 seconds. Still Folsom takes the number 3 spot. Stefan Andremeyer is out of it. And it's down to supposedly 8 debutants left. few runners left to go. Kai Beckstrand. Saw his brother Luke earlier, but he's bested by Bungie. Eliminates Yuta Nakashima, Felipe Rodriguez, or Gavin Obey. He's going to move on to stage 2. Will anyone attempt the boss against Pythagoras this week? Yes! Right at the end! Gavin Obey, the only man to attempt the boss. And I completely forgot to open the BGM. Hold on 1 second. Gavin Obey, close this. First and only person to attempt Pythagoras, and I don't think it'll even... I don't think it really has a point because he already beat it, but let's see if he can beat it again. Gavin Obey versus Pythagoras. The mathematical menace. Before, he's got the time for sure. 60-second time limit. And he saves at the end and clears with just under 4 seconds on the clock. We do have a boss attempt and a clear at the end, and it would be your last man standing, 3-time last man standing, Gavin Obey, number 2 in the world. You don't get a clear until the very end of the stage. Let's have a look at our clear overview. How long did that take? 26 minutes. If my math is correct, we are down to 8 debutants, 5 women, and 12 chatters. Go ahead and check real quick. Alright, clear overview. We are down to 6 debutants, that being Ryan Guild, Carrington Andrews, Victor DeBrun, Adira Afrigan, Michael Chow, and Millie Baker. 5 women remain. Millie Baker, Annabella Heinrichs, Nora Brown-John, Isabella Folsom, and... Isabella Folsom, Nora Brown-John, Millie Baker, Annabella Heinrichs, and I literally did this earlier. That's why I paused. We'll see it later. 12 debutants. Sorry, 12 debutants. 12 chatters. I can't talk to them. Dan Buckholes, Yuten Shao, Z Render, Richie, Casillas, Diol, Andrews, Moravsky, McGrath, Aikenstein, Sean Bryan, Donovan Matoya. Killer of the stage, by the way, is 10 years under Stephen Harper by a factor of 1. Bungie, and Angle Letter Jr. at a close second. How many of the top 10 remaining? All of them. Move on to stage 2. We'll be kicking off in a moment. Stage 2 is the newly possible Sunken City. It consists of 8 obstacles and is a water-based stage for the most part. Kicking things off is the Crazy Slide from Proto Sasuke, inspired by Daichoyaku from Kuroichi, except it has a bar in the middle that you have to jump over. Cargo Chaos from Musou 10. The version where you go over and under cargo nets partially submerged in the water. Split decision between Goran Hammer from Sasuke, Fusha Watari from Kuroichi. Aqua Tackle, just from Survival Race, just tackle but with large stones. Large stone blocks. Backstream, 9-meter version from Sasuke. We all know the backstream. It's the backstream. Split decision between Dangerous Waters and Tuning Forks, both of which are from A&W. Upstream Escape is a mix of the Island Escape and the Backstream. And the Whirlpool, which is currently unattempted. It is a bug version of the Backstream with fans and cyclones in all directions, which throw the competitor off and drag them under. Time limit is 190 seconds. It was supposed... The issue I figured out what happened last week. Was the time limit was supposed to be 2 to 15 seconds, which was, first off, way too lenient. Second off, wasn't even that, because the time limit was set to 130 in Ninja Machine, which was completely my bad. But it's fixed. 190 seconds. And if you beat that, you will face Lugia, the second boss. A buff version of Bridge Ball. You must dodge fishbone spikes, water hose, cannonballs, throw the ball and a small target. Top 55 advance. 20 eliminations this time around. Down to 12 chatters, 6 debutantes, and 5 women in Stage 2. How many of them will make it past a quarter of this absolutely gruesome course? A grueling course, sorry. Kicking things off is Gil Marantz. Lugia remains unattempted for the moment, but will the Great Guardian find its first opponent in Gil Marantz? He will not. Whirlpool takes out the Israeli. First person to attempt it, though. Tom Alberti next. Rather than timing out at the frickin' backstream. Whirlpool does take the lead by several seconds over Gil Marantz. Catalyst of the All-Stars, Kane Koski. Also reaches Whirlpool. Takes second out of 3. Brooks Bieber. Never mind. About as well as the 2 competitors who reached Stage 2 in Kunoichi 1 did. Viktor Borisnikov. That was even worse. But, hey, I mean... Well, never mind. It doesn't matter if he got pace and he still got last. Ryan Guild. First of the debutants to get all the way to Whirlpool. Very impressive. Drew Becker, though. Also reaches Whirlpool. He refreshes a bit of stamina, and that costs him the rest of his time. Josiah Singleton. Never mind. Hayate Kazihara. Oh, just times out on Whirlpool. Champ, Caleb Bergstrom. And he's the first to attempt Lugia with more than 20 seconds left. Maybe the first man to clear it. Need to get the clear BG. Caleb Bergstrom versus the Great Guardian, Lugia. He'll be the first to clear it. No! He missed the throw to the target. So close, though. Caleb Bergstrom. That is what lies ahead. At the end of the second city lies the Great Guardian, Lugia, your second boss. It's finally been attempted. Dan Buckhole is your next chatter. Tuning Forks. Annabella Heinrichs running next. Also bested by Tuning Forks. Jason Behrens. This is part. Makes it around nearly halfway through Whirlpool. And this is half water, half balance. So again, balance obstacles proven to be very difficult, taking a lot of heads. Luke Dillon. Ooh, makes it nearly 3/4 of the way through. Carrington Andrews. Just misses out on the Great Guardian. Saving on Goran Hammer as well. Yuten Shao. Refreshes a bit of stamina. That cost him. He just basically gave up after Tuning Forks. But reached Whirlpool. Still very impressive. Victor De Bruyne. It's bested by Goran Hammer of all things. First to fail on 2.3 tonight. Benjamin Reichman. We're going to see a lot of timing out at Whirlpool. Adir Afrigan. Goran Hammer takes him out of it. Masashi Hyoki. Makes it to Whirlpool. Just gets into the top 10. D. Render, on the other hand, fails the first obstacle. Eli Dagan. Saving on the first obstacle. Barely reaching Whirlpool by the time he was finished refreshing stamina. The clock had already ran out. Jeffrey Ritchie. Never mind. Michael Chow. Debutant is bested by Goran Hammer. Millie Baker, another debutant, reaches Whirlpool. Might actually move on to Stage 3. Might be good enough. Maybe the cutoff might actually be Whirlpool for all we know. She is in the top 10, though. Very impressive. Kyle Soderman. Oh, save at the halfway mark of Whirlpool. We can't get through the other half. That obstacle is a drainer of stamina. Hurricane Casillas, meanwhile, bested by the balanced obstacle. Gore and Hammer. Noticing nobody's going for Fusha Water. Almost digested Zach Toussaint. And he faces Lugia, of all people. Zach Toussaint. Second man to attempt Lugia. At the end of the sunken city lies the Great Guardian. He's found his second opponent in Zach Toussaint. See what he does. He's got the ball. That first cannon. Avoided the hose. Can he get that throw? No! No! Shares the same fate as Caleb Bergstrom. But he does take second place since he did not have as much time as Caleb did. Or Caleb, sorry. Very strong attempt, though. Definitely moving on to stage 3. See if we can say the same for Simon Bruno. Likely, he barely makes it through the first, nearly makes it through the first quarter of Whirlpool. Kai Diol. Especially by tuning forks. First time we've seen that today. Jun Sato. Barely moves on. Oh no! That is a rough run on Whirlpool. Failing on the first quarter and the second. He tries to refresh stamina after the halfway mark, but that cost him the rest of his time. Rough run on Whirlpool for the president of the JPA. Yuri Prokinen running next. And he faces the Great Guardian. Yuri Prokinen faces Lugia. See if he'll be the first man to clear it. Ball, but he's bested by the water hose. 3 attempts, 0 clears. Does take second for the moment. Caleb Bergstrom did have the most time remaining by a significant margin. He takes second by 1400s. Running next is Isaiah Thomas. You about to see a man fly. Potentially. Oh, just could not get past the halfway mark of Whirlpool. Jack Andrews. Never mind. Jackson Erdos. Saving on Fusawatari. Failing on, of all things, Upstream Escape. That's a new one. Clearly a lot more difficult than it looks. Matthias Neurel. And, okay, of course, the Ninja Warrior France champion faces off against Lugia. 4 attempts so far. Nobody's cleared it. See what he does against the Great Guardian. Misses the first catch and gets bested by the first cannon. Not particularly great for the Ninja Warrior France champion. He is... Hold on, let me check. Yes, he is. He did it in Ninja Warrior 8. Ninja Warrior France 8. And running next, rounding out... Not really, but... Well, pretty much. Weatherman Joe Moravsky. No! That fail in the first quarter of Whirlpool just cost him so much time. Just misses out on the top 5. Seigo Shimizu, best debutant from last week. Might be it for him. Crazy slide. Not where you want to be. Aaron Majaya Como. Oh, if he hadn't refreshed his stamina at the 75% mark of Whirlpool, he would have cleared. But he was at 7%. That is a drainer. Like, he would have ran out for sure if he hadn't refreshed. Still, very good run for sure. 7th place. Nothing to stop at. Brett Sims also reaches Whirlpool. Take a fat guess as to what the killer of this stage is going to be. Tatsuya Tada. Whirlpool again. The Beast, James McGrath, is also bested by Whirlpool. Egenstein, never mind. Jackson to wait. Just nearly makes it halfway through Whirlpool. next, meanwhile, is Zeke Cuba. Can he reach? No, he can't. Barely reaches Whirlpool. Oh, hold on. Okay. Running next. We haven't seen this dude in a minute. Oliver Lutman. Save on Crazy Slide. He reaches Lugia! It would be Oliver Lutman, wouldn't it? Former semi-finalist, and he has a shot against the Great Guardian. You better believe he's gonna take it. Let's see what he does. This is the first catch. Can he? No! The second cannon. That's Oliver Lutman. Young star for sure. Inaugural last man standing of OMEGA⁴, Amir Malik. Saving on Crazy Slide, but he's best by tuning forks. Former finalist EDW. Which is Whirlpool. Just barely is unable to make it past the first half. Elijah Browning. Whirlpool as well. Ninja Warrior Poland champion Jan Tatarovich. Expected by Fusha Watari. Finally, someone went for it, but they missed it. Nora Brown John next. She reaches Whirlpool. Okay. We're about to start seeing eliminations. Yusuke, the Prince, Morimoto. And of course, it would be this man who reaches Lugia. The Prince and the Great Guardian of the Sunken Sea will face off in a Clash of the Titans. Yusuke Morimoto now faces Lugia. And he gets hit by the first cannon. But it's impressive that he even got there. I don't know if anyone will even clear this thing tonight. We'll have to wait and see. Paper Ninja Sean Bryan is unable to get past Whirlpool. Salesman Yuji Urushihara is a few seconds. That fail on the 50% mark cost him a shot against the Great Guardian. Jarrah Boyd, Mr. Burnout, is bested by Whirlpool. Again, that fail on the 50% mark. Katie Bone, never mind. Donovan Matoyer. And your first elimination is a chatter. Zach Akenstein. Down to 11. As Donovan Matoyer fails on Whirlpool. Seigo Shimizu on the bubble. Ilion Sharif next. Ninja Warrior France champion. He saves at the end of Whirlpool and gets a shot against Lugia. Ilion Sharif faces Boss 2. Let's see how he does against the Great Guardian. Misses on the first catch. He's bested by the water hose. Meanwhile, Seigo Shimizu, your best debutant from last week, has been eliminated. Jack Andrews on the bubble. Benjamin Reichman are guaranteed to move on. Josiah Pipel running next. Bested by tuning forks. May not be... Yeah, that'll be good enough. No, maybe not. I don't think so. Jack Andrews is out of it. 10 chatters left. Jeffrey Ritchie on the bubble. Ryan Gill's not guaranteed to move on. Yeah, Josiah Pipel. That run, unfortunately, may not be good enough. Ninja Warrior Australia champion, which I learned a few days ago, Zach Stolz. Former last man standing in Omega. So now suddenly, all of a sudden, that checks out. Eliminates Jeffrey Ritchie, puts D-Render on the bubble, puts us down to single-digit chatters. Ryan Gill is still guaranteed to move on. Your women's champion, Isabella Folsom, running next. She's the first woman to face a boss. Your women's champion, saving on the second half, on the halfway mark of Whirlpool, now faces, for the first time, the Great Guardian, Lugia. This is the first catch, and she's bested by the first cannon. But, very impressive for a woman to get there. The first woman to attempt a boss, for that matter. And that'll easily eliminate D-Render. Josiah Singleton on the bubble. Salaryman, Ryosuke Miyaoka running next. He's bested by Fusa Wazari. may not be good enough. Yeah, Jackson Erdos is guaranteed to move on. I don't think that's good enough. Eliminate Singleton, though. Which I believe was not a debutant. No. Baristikov on the bubble. Move on to... I keep almost digesting people, and that's... Ninja Warrior Germany champion Moritz Hans. And he nearly makes... nearly makes it to Lugia. Time's out at the end of Whirlpool. Baristikov is out of it. Brooks Bieber on the bubble. Technician Tyler Smith. 2 fails on the halfway mark of Whirlpool. Prevents him. Denies him a shot against the Great Guardian. Bieber's out of it. Hurricane on the bubble. Noah Munier running next. And of course, he will face Lugia. Let's see what he does. How the #1 ninja in the world does against the Great Guardian. Catches the ball. The first cannon. Second cannon. No! Noah Munier is also bested. The Great Guardian is looking absolutely invincible right now. And obviously, that'll eliminate Kane Casillas, putting us down to 7 chatters. Michael Chow on the bubbles. We move on to the top 10 of last week. Kevin Rodriguez nearly reaches Lugia, but he's bested by the halfway point of Whirlpool. Eliminates Michael Chow. Another debutant out of the equation. 5 remain. And another one of them is on the bubble. Another one's about to be on the bubble right after him. Asa Lashesa Reynolds, former finalist, is out on Crazy Slide. First member of the top 10 to be eliminated is a former finalist. That is a shocker. Senior Samyach, Ninja Warrior Israel champion. And he saves on the 75% mark of Whirlpool, and he will face Lugia. Senior Samyach, the youngest champion in any version of Ninja Warrior. Across all versions. How will he fare against the Great Guardian? That's the ball. Water hose. Got it. Second cannon. That second cannon. It doesn't take any stamina at all. It's all about balance. Puts him in the top 10. By the way, 10 attempts on boss 2 is crazy. Afrigan is out of it. 4 debutants remain. Guild, Andrews, De Bruyne, and Baker. De Bruyne, unfortunately, is on the bubble. Yuchen Shao now guaranteed to move on. Luke Beckstrand. And of course, he takes on Lugia as well. 11 attempts, at least, against Lugia. Luke Beckstrand, maybe the one to beat it. See what he does against the Great Guardian. This is the ball. 1 cannon to go. Got it. Can he make the throw? Yes! Luke Beckstrand is the first man to complete Boss 2. The night that it's actually attempted, Luke Beckstrand becomes the first man to clear it. That will eliminate Victor De Bruyne. Putting us down to 3 chatters. 3 debutants. Jan Tatarovich on the bubble. Yuchen Shao still guaranteed to move on. James Sinella just misses out on Lugia. Eliminates Tatarovich. Mioka is on the bubble. The cutoff is the second split decision. Daniel Gill, he knows what he has to do. Just is unable to make it to Lugia. Eliminates the Salaryman. Dan Buckles on the bubble. Lucas Killian running next. Saving on Goran Hammer, but he's bested by Upstream Escape. He's eliminated. He eliminates Dan Buckles. Putting us down to 6 shatters. Not 56. 6. That's not... What do you want? We're not filling up half the roster with chatters. Not even that many chatters in the server. By the way, Ninja Master's Discord server in the description. Not being paid, Gavin Obey says. Heinrichs on the bubble. Phil Folsom. He's unable to take on Lugia. Eliminates Heinrichs, putting us down to 4 women remaining. Kai Diol on the bubble. Kai Beck, one Kai about to be eliminated by another Kai. That's tragic. Kai Diol or Kai Beckstrand. Likely Kai Beckstrand. Yep, 100%. He takes on Lugia. Kai Beckstrand. We saw his brother beat it earlier. And obviously this means Kai Diol is out of it. 5 chapters remaining. Luke Beckstrand became the first man to beat this boss. Let's see how his brother Kai fares against the Great Guardian. The end of the Sunken Sea. Where that second cannon. Going for the throw. Yes! The Beckstrands are 2 for 2 against Lugia. Luke Beckstrand. Kai Beckstrand. That's actually crazy. 2 people that cleared this boss, and it would be the Beckstrands. And of course, they take first and second, respectively. Kai in front by 15 seconds. Meanwhile, we still have a runner left. He did beat Boss 1. Can he beat, or even attempt, Boss 2? Gavin Obey. No, he won't! In fact, he's out of it! Gavin Obey is out of the equation entirely. He fails on Crazy Slide. And the chance of an all clear is out the window. Gavin Obey will not move on to stage 3. Clear overview in a few moments. My God. That's a shocker. For a clear overview on Stage 2 tonight, we're down to 3 women. Millie Baker, who's a debutante, against 2 of the greats, Nora Brown-John and Isabella Folsom. For the remaining debutantes, we have 3. Ryan Guild, Carrington Andrews, and Millie Baker. She has a chance to be last woman standing and best debutante in the same tournament. And as for the chatters, we're down to 5. Yu Chen Chao, the sole rep of Taiwan. Joe Moravsky, Sean Bryan, Donovan Matoyer, and James McGrath. One of them will be your new or retaining chatters champion. Top 10 has been kind of chipped a little bit. We've lost 2 members of the top 10. Those being Asa Reynolds and, of course, Gavin Obey. You will not repeat as your last man standing. Obviously, Whirlpool is the killer of the stage by a factor of more than 3. But, other than that... stretching, sorry. Crazy Slide at a distant second. And right behind is Luke. 10 attempts against... 12 attempts against the Great Guardian. May need to nerf the buff the time just a little bit. But in the meantime, stage 3 in a moment. Stage 3 is Mount Blizzard, Mount Blaze, and the newly adjusted Mount Blitz. But its real name is 3 Peaks. First, we will go over Mount Blizzard. This stage is all about finger strength. All 3 of these are burnout gauntlets. First is Inverter from A&W. Next is Hopscotch, also from A&W. Hockey Pucks, which is from the WNL. Storm the Gate, from the WNL. Fuji Pass, from WNL. Altitude Limit from Proto Sasuke. Luigi's Balloon World, which, if I recall correctly, is from Muso. It's the Cliffhanger Odyssey, but without starting legends or dismount. And finally, first of the legendary birds, Articuno, the buff version of the Ice Pix. Mount Blaze is all about Lachey's. First is Bunny Ears from WNL. No, you have an obstacle in Bunny Ears, because Pipe Shuffler from, of course, WNL. Driver's Ed, which I imagine is from WNL, yes. Might Trio from versus Moravsky. Triple Mo Howard is the cliffhanger of the stage from. It was from the Sharp Tank, sorry, but it was inspired by Aborigines Warrior, Joe Kalo Ninja Competition run by Swantron 97 and Double Ump. Titanic Twisters. Double Twister, but significantly further apart from versus Moravsky. Golden Corkscrew. We saw it in previous eras, in a previous era of Omega, from the Sharp Tank. And it's back again in OMEGA⁴. Finally, second of the legendary birds, at the peak of Mount Blaze, is Moltres, a buff version of Ingerbills. The final choice is Mount Blitz. This stage is all about bar tech, or just tech in general. Jawbreaker from A&W. Heavenly Alley from Super Ninja. Skyhook Chaos from WNL. Ring Drop. We saw it last in Bifrost at the end of OMEGA⁴. But it's back from the WNL in Mount Blitz. Revolvers from the WNL. Stegosaurus, Vertical Limit from WNL. Flying Bar Triple Deluxe, which I imagine is from the Sharp Tank. I will check. Yes, it is. Version of combination of Noah's Ark, Northeast Regional Flying Bar, and the Bear Trap. Finally, third of the legendary birds at the peak of Mount Blitz is Ho-Oh, the Thunderbird, the buff version of Lightning Bolts. Zapdos. Not Ho-Oh. Not yet. That comes later. If you somehow beat any one of these three stages, you must face against Boss 3, the Phoenix, Ho-Oh, a buff version of the Kaleidoscope, with 7 sets of progressively thinner ledges, the last of which is a sloper grab requiring a cross grip. Nobody's attempted Boss 3 so far. Will it happen tonight? Kicking things off at the Three Peaks. Gil Morant. I can't talk today. Gil Morant selects Mount Blitz. He gets all the way to the revolvers. 3.5C. Tom Alberti, meanwhile, takes on Mount Blaze. He had a lot of that last week. He's bested by Triple Mo Howard. Kane Koski takes on Mount Blitz. Stegosaurus, Vertical Limit. May move on to stage 4 yet. Takes the lead so far. Ryan Guild selects Mount Blaze. Mike Trio. 3.4B. Moving on to True Becker. I'll turn BGM down a little bit. True Becker taking on Mount Blaze. Reaches the Golden Corkscrew, first person to do so tonight. Hayate Kajihara, how is he good? How is he with burnout stages? With Mount Blaze. He's very good. He gets all the way to the Golden Corkscrew. Caleb Bergstrom. Nobody's attempted Mount Blizzard yet. Caleb Bergstrom takes on Mount Blitz, or Mount Blaze. And he's bested by Driver's Ed. 3.3B. Takes out the champion. Jason Behrens. Mount Blaze again. Pipe Shuffle. Luke Dillon. Going for Mount Blitz, and he gets all the way to Stegosaurus vertical limit. He will not take the lead. Not yet. He takes third, in fact. Because only 2 people have reached 3.7. Carrington Andrews. First to take on Mount Blizzard, and he's bested by Inverter. Chatter, Yu Chen Xiao. Mount Blaze. Mount Trio. Mount Trio might Trio. I can't talk. By the way, I forgot to mention, top 40 moves on. 15 will be eliminated. Reichman trying not to be one of them on Mount Blaze. Reaches TMH. Masashi Hioki. Going for Mount Blitz, and he's bested by Heavenly Alley. Eli Dagan. Mount Blaze. Triple Mo Howard. It's very impressive to even get to the back half of any of these stages. Impressive to get here. Millie Baker. And she's bested by 3.2B. Pipe Shuffler on Mount Blaze. Kyle Soderman. Mount Blitz. Revolvers. Might need to nerf these stages to make sure at least one of them is possible. Zach Toussaint. He took on Lugia earlier. Oh my god, Flying Bar triple deluxe! He reaches 3.7! Or 3.7C! Clearly, he's really good with bar attack. Simon Bruna takes on Mount Blaze and reaches Titanic Twisters. 3.6. Jun Sato is not great with finger strain. Please don't pick Mount Blizzard. Pick Mount Blaze, but he was bested by the Pipe Shuffler. He's never been good with cliffs. Yuri Prokton. Mount Blaze again. Might Trio. Moving on to Isaiah Thomas, the Flyboy. Mount Blitz! And he's also bested by Flying Bar Triple Deluxe. We might not even have an attempt against the Legendary Birds tonight, much less the Phoenix. And here comes the champ, Jackson Erdos. Mount Blitz, but he's bested by 3.4. 13th out of 22. 15 eliminations. Not the spot you want to be in. Matthias Neurel. Mount Blitz again. Stegosaurus VL. Ninja Warrior France champion takes the number 5 spot for the moment. Weatherman. Joe Moravsky. Going for Mount Blitz. He did beat Mount Beetlejuice in the last era. He's bested by in the Revolvers. Giacomo. Mount Blaze. But he's bested by the Pipe. He saves on the Pipe Shuffler, but he saves on the Pipe Shuffler. But he's bested one jump later on the Gumdrop segment. I can't freaking talk. The Inventor, Brett Sims. Mount Blitz. Stegosaurus VL. Takes 7th for a moment. Freaking. Nobody's gonna get to 3.8, I guess. May need to nerf this. Tatsuya Tada. Going for Mount Blaze. But he's bested by Driver's Ed. James McGrath. Mount Blaze again. Triple Mo Howard. May need to nerf Mount Blizzard. Because, Jesus Christ. Jackson Twait. Mount Blitz. Ooh, Stegosaurus VL. Okay. Getting there is very impressive. Zeke Huber. Mount Blaze. Saving on Driver's Ed, but he's bested by Triple Mo Howard. Lutman. Mount Blitz. Oh, hold on! He takes 2nd! Flying Bar Triple Deluxe. That is extremely impressive. Oliver Lutman might make it. He's definitely making it to stage 4 for sure. Amir Malik. Mount Blaze. We're not going to be seeing much of Mount Blizzard today, I assume. Makes it to TMH. Oops. EDW. And he's bested by Bunny Ears. On Mount Blaze. Sorry, don't let me. He's vibing. Elijah Browning. Oh, Mount Blitz. Stegosaurus VL. Meanwhile, Noah Brown John taking on Mount Blaze, saving on Might Trio, but she's bested by the Titanic Twisters. Yusuke Morimoto, Mount Blaze, also bested by Titanic Twisters. Able Ninja Sean Bryan, Mount Blitz, but he's bested by the Revolvers. Salesman, Urushihara, Mount Blitz again. Multiple misses on the Revolvers, but he reaches Stegosaurus VL. Mr. Burnout, Jera Boyd, Mount Blaze. He's had a lot of stamina left, but he is bested by the Titanic Twisters. Chatter's champion, Donovan Matoya. Going for Mount Blitz again. He's bested by the Revolvers. Running next is Ilion Sharif, NW France champion. And he's bested by freaking bunny ears. Again with the bunny ears. You think he would have gone being a freaking climbing champion. Or climbing instructor. I can't recall. You'd think he would have gone for Mount Blizzard, but apparently not. Josiah Papel. Going for Mount Blaze again. He saves on Might Trio, but it does take him out of it. 28th out of 40. Not the spot you want to be in. And we have a first elimination in Enzo De Ferrari Wilson. And I gotta add something to my to-do list. Nerf Mount Blizzard. Actually, no. Nerf Stage 3. But mainly Mount Blizzard. EDW's out of it. Carrington Andrews on the bubble. Okay. He is a debutant. Zach Stoles faces off against Mount Blitz. He's bested by the Revolvers. Again, getting to the back half is very impressive. Carrington Andrews is out of it. Millie Baker is on the bubble. So if that is the case, Ryan Guild will be your best debutant this week. Isabella Folsom may be the woman to eliminate her. See how she does against Mount Blitz. Eliminated best by ring drop and eliminates Millie Baker. Meaning Ryan Guild is your best debutant for this week's tournament. I'm going to add that in my notes. I'll be right back. And we're back. Jason Barron's on the bubble. We move on to Moritz Hans. And he reaches all the way to Flying Bar Triple Deluxe on Mount Blitz. That's crazy. He takes the top 3 spot. The legendary birds have yet to be reached. Jun Sato on the bubble. Jason Barron's out of the equation entirely. Tyler Smith. Amir Malik's guaranteed to move on. Mount Blitz again. Same spot. He eliminates Sato. Puts Majaya Como on the bubble. Noah Munier. Mount Blaze. He's passed by TMH. Hyoki is on the bubble. Majaya Como is out of it. And there is your best debutant, Ryan Guild. Now in the bottom 5. There's still several of the top 10 left. So unless we have a massive choke streak, we will have no debutants in Stage 4. K-Rod. Going into Mount Blaze. Eliminating Masashi Hyoki. One champion may be about to eliminate another. Caleb Bergstrom, Omega and A&W champion on the bubble. Snior Samiach, Ninja Warrior Israel champion, may be about to eliminate him. Mount Blitz, Revolvers. He will eliminate Bergstrom. Tatsuya Tada is on the bubble. Here come the Beckstrands. We start with Luke. Mount Blaze. And he reaches the Golden Corkscrew. He had a lot of stamina left, too. Saving on the first Lachey, but he's unable to make the second. Eliminating Tada, putting Yuchen Shao on the bubble. James Sinella going for Mount Blaze. And he gets even further. Eliminating Yuchen Shao. 4 chatters left. Ryan Guild on the bubble. Amir Malik still guaranteed to move on. The Kingdom Ninja taking on Mount Blaze, and he's bested by the bunny ears. He is out of it. Another member of the top 10 out of the equation. Lucas Killian. And he takes on Mount Blizzard. He's eliminated by Inverter. Another member of the top 10 gone. 2 back-to-back. Phil Folsom. Mount Blaze. He's also out of it. Pipe Shuffler. We just lost 3 in a row. Isabella Folsom might still be in it. She will. It's either going to be Ryan Guild or Kai Beckstrand. Going for Mount Blitz. And he reaches all the way to the end of the Flying Bar Triple Deluxe. Or near the Bear Trap segment, at least. Holy crap. Boss 3 is yet to be attempted tonight. Let's go over our clear overview. For Stage 3's clear overview tonight, we are down to exactly 0 debutants, as Ryan Guild was unfortunately the last to be eliminated. He was the last debutant, but he is your best debutant for this week. Meanwhile, in the chatters department, we're down to 4. That will be the Weatherman, the Beast, the Papal Ninja, and the Classy Ninja. If you know, you know. I might as well just say it anyway. Moravsky, McGrath, Sean Bryan, Donovan Matoya. And when it comes to the women, 2 of them remain. They're 2 of the greats. Norm Brown John and Isabella Folsom. One of these 2 will be your new or retaining women's champion. The legendary birds have yet to be attempted tonight, much less the Phoenix. Stage 4 in a moment. Stage 4 is Pac-Man. Consists of 10 levels, each of which consists of 4 obstacles. By the way, I completely forgot to mention the killer of Stage 3 was Stegosaurus Vertical. Nope. By 1, it was Triple Mo Howard. If you beat all 10 levels, you will have a shot against... So goes the game. The leaderboard is pretty much useless. Essentially different functions. You know what? I think it might. Well, okay. It doesn't work anymore. Yeah, if you beat all 10 levels, somehow you'll have a chance to face off against one member of the Ghostly Gang. You know, you know. Let's kick it off with Gil Morantz. Level 1 is Barrel Swing, Prism Strike, Initial Ascent, Chimney to Rope Climb. Got it. Level 2 is Block Run, Pivot Slider, Incline Cliffs, Caber Logs. Level 3, Birdhouses, Pipe Drop, Icarus Deluxe, Cliffhanger 2.0. Gil Morantz is on to level 4, Big Spinners, Pinch Slider, Iron Cross, Psycho Jump. Saving on the Pinch Slider, he moves on to Tier 2. Alberti. And he fails on Big Spinner, no problem. Save on Pipe Drop. But he is bested by level 4. Kane Koski. Good so far. Saving on Iron Cross, he's going to Tier 2. Tribeca. Top 3 move on to the back half. Top 30 move on to the back half of the course. Save on Initial Ascent. But he's bested on the Block Run on level 2. Hayate Kajihara. Level 3. Level 4, yes! Luke Dillon, saving on the Chimney. Halfway through Tier 1, he's on the Tier 2. Reichman, he's bested by the Incline Cliffs on level 2. Elate Dagan, saving on Pivot Slider, but bested by Cliffhanger 2.0. Kyle Soderman, he's bested by the Caber Logs, of all things, to say. Saving on first and second of the Caber Logs, he moves on to level 3. And where he's bested by the Birdhouses. Simon Brunner. Good so far. He moves on. 5 for 11. Yuri Proknin. So far, level 4 down. Isaiah Thomas, Flyboy. Saving on the last ledge of Cliffhanger 2.0. He's moving on to Tier 2. Stage 2, Phase 2, Tier 2. Jesus, can't get the name right. Here comes the champ, Jackson Erdos. Good. Going into Tier 2. French champion, Matthias Neurel. Of course, he is moving on. Saving on Pink Slim. Weatherman, Morovsky. He moves on. 6 fails so far. Sims. He's through. McGrath. Never mind. Barrel swing. Safe to say that he might be out of it. Jackson Twait. Cliffhanger 2.0 gets the best of him. Zeke Huber, 10 eliminations. We've had 7 fails, or 8 fails so far. Zeke Huber makes it 9. Oliver Lutman. Saving on Cliffhanger 2.0. He moves on. 12 out of 21. 9 fails so far. Amir Malik. Make him down to Tier 2. Saving on the birdhouses. He moves on to Tier 2. Browning. More than halfway through what's left of the roster. Elijah Browning. Bested by Cliffhanger 2.0 after a save on Icarus Deluxe. Might come down to level 2. Or Tier 2, sorry. Nora Brown John. Halfway through. Saving on the Cliffhanger 2.0, but she fails it a few jumps later. This could go to Isabella Folsom. Yusuke Morimoto. He saves on the incline cliffs and he fails on the cable logs. Leaderboard's pretty much useless at this point. Yusuke might be out of it on stage 4. Sean Bryan. He moves on. Salesman. Yuji Urushihara moves on. Mr. Burnout, Jera Boy. Saving on Iron Cross. Going to Tier 2. Chatter's champion, Donovan Matoya. Yes! No problem. Propel. Looking good. Tier 2. Zach Stoles. Never mind. Block run. Yusuke might have a chance. I don't know. Isabella Folsom. Saving on the cable logs. She made it farther than Nora Brown John did. 19 out of 32. 12 fails so far. Moritz Hans. Saving on initial ascent. He moves on. Sorry, 13 fails on Tier 1. Tyler Smith. Easily moves on. Junior. Saving on cycle jump. The last obstacle of Tier 1. K-Rod. Top 10 from last week. What's left of it. Saving on Cliffhanger 2.0 on the last ledge, but he fails on Iron Cross. Samiyach. He moves on. Beckstrand. Never mind. First of the Beckstrands to be eliminated. They were neck and neck the whole time. Luke Beckstrand goes first. Sanella. Saving on Pivot Slider. He moves on. Kai. Saving on Pivot Slayer as well. Kai saves on Iron Cross. We're down to 25 in Tier 2 of the Pac Maze. And it as follows. Got the leaderboarding. Level 5 to 8. Level 5 is Big Airboard, Paddleboards, I-Beam Cross, directly into Clockwork to Cargo. Morant's first. Level 6. Boxed in, Pac-Man, Iron City Cliffhanger, Cliff Toss. No rest points. He's got it. Level 7. Boardwalk, Planet 11, Inverter, Cannonball Climber. No rest points. Saving on Inverter, he's moving on to level 8. Broken Simulator, Pipe Slider X, Rest Point, Ice Picks, Cloud Ladder. And he's bested by the Ice Picks. Kane Koski. Never mind. Bested by the Big Airboard. He might move on regardless. All these guys are going to move on regardless. Let's see how... The question is, are they going to be able to take on the boss? Kajihara. Saving on Clockwork. Bested by Box Danny. Luke Dillon. I-Beam Cross takes him out of it. Simon Brunner. Number 8. No! A save on the ice picks, but he fails on the next movement. Croakton. Saving on Cliff Toss. He will be the first to move on to Tier 3. Isaiah Thomas. Saving on I-Beam Cross. Number 8. No! How close was he? The last movement on the Cloud Ladder. Jackson Erdos. Saving on Planet 11. And he fails on the last movement. That's actually tragic. Noirel. Saving on paddleboards. If I recall correctly, only 5 people made it to Tier 3 last week. Meanwhile, Noirel fails on Cliff Toss. Weatherman. Fails on Iron City Cliffhanger. Brett Sims. Is bested by Clockwork. Lutman. Saving on paddleboards. Halfway through Tier 2. He's going to Tier 3. Malik. Good going into level 8, but the ice picks. Sean Bryan. ICC. Salesman. Good. Broken Salmon Land. Nearly makes it to Tier 3. He's bested by the start of level 8. Jared Boyd. Saving on I-Beam Cross. Saving on Iron City Cliffhanger, but he fails on Cliff Toss. Matoya. Wow! A save on Clockwork, but he's bested by a few movements, or bested a few minutes later. Papel. Never mind. Folsom. Isabella Folsom. Level 6. Saving on the last movement of Cliff Toss, going to level 7. Level 8. We have a woman in Tier 3. Moritz Hans. Saving on I-Beam Cross. That's by Cliff Toss on level 6. Tyler Smith. Never mind. Noah Munier. Good. Level 8. He moves on. 4 people in Tier 3. Samiyach. Once that digested him on level 5. Saving on I-Beam Cross. But failing on Iron City Cliffhanger. Sanella. Good. Bested by the ice picks. Kai Beckstrand. He saved on the ice picks too. Beckstrand saves on Big Airborne. Good. Going into level 8. 2 saves on the Cloud Ladder. And again, we have 5 people in Tier 3 of the Pac Maze. Last 2 levels. It is as follows. Level 9, Big Red, Peg Traveler, Island of the I-Beams, and Climbing Hooks. No rest points. Yuri Prokdin going first. He's bested by Peg Traveler, saving on the first move of Big Red. Oliver Lutman going next. Looking good, he's on level 10. And this segment has been nerfed. Bermuda Triangle, Pegasus. There's now a rest point. Infernal Cliffhanger, directly into Muso's Cliffhanger. See what he does on level 10. And he's bested on the Infernal Cliffhanger. Definitely takes the lead so far. Maybe your last woman standing, Isabella Folsom. Level 9. She's bested by Island of the I-Beams. 2 remain. Noah Munier. Level 10. Can he reach the Ghostly Gang? No! Pegasus. Last runner on stage 4 is Kai Beckstrand. And again, it ends on stage 9. We're down to 30. We'll look at the leaderboard, and we'll go over our clear overview in a moment. For Stage 4's clear overview tonight, we are down to 3 chatters as freaking James McGrath got last in the stage, leaving us with only 3. Donovan Matoyer, Joe Moravsky, and I swear I missed one. Sean Bryan, right in the middle. 2 women remain, Nora Brown-John, and of course, Isabella Folsom. Proving once again that they are both, Isabella's a force to be reckoned with. No debutantes, obviously. I believe only a few members of the top 10 are left. We move on to Chatter's Challenge in a moment. We move on to Chatter's Challenge. Few changes have been made. One name that has been changed. It consists, hit it again. It consists of 2 stages. Nearly every single chatter in Ninja Machine's database, aside from a few exceptions, and myself, will be able to take part in this segment. Stage Alpha is as follows. Odyssey from Viking, Sonic Curve from A&W, Parlay from Viking, Soritatsu Kabe from Sasuke, Deep Water Solo from $1 Million Mile, and a new obstacle, Triple Uneven Swing. Time limit still 125 seconds. There are 49 shatters. Well, not 49. I will check. There should be 43. Because the elite chatters have been removed from this to give the casual chatter a chance. So with that in mind, where are the nameplates? There's the nameplates. Okay, we can kick off the stage. And they're in alphabetical order. What the hell is the stop? Adrian Sun. Never mind. Let's go by Odyssey. Alex Cunningham. Ooh. Sonic Curve. Not as bad, but still not great. Alt 1. Let's go by Parlay. Gets even farther. Hey, we're getting more progress. Amber Rodriguez. Specified by Parlay. Math is difficult. It's no longer tactical parlay, it's now just parlay. Aussie Green. Again, parlay. This is Bo Lewis. And Bo Lewis is our first clear. Nice. Right next, Billy Dixon. I should add a leaderboard to this. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Billy Dixon is our second clear. A few seconds left. Brandon Buchwald just times out by several seconds on the triple uneven swing. Host of Ninja Warrior of Roblox, Bubba Ace. Timing out on TUS. Caleb Price. Never mind. Host of Ninja Warrior Worldwide, Kane Malden. Never mind. Sorry, Kane. You cannot catch a break in this course. Curtis Tran. That is not an integer. Speaking of integers, Parlay. Takes out Curtis Tran. Dan Buckles. Miss on Soritatsu Kabe. Cost him a bit more time out of the time that he didn't know. Donovan Lusher, co-host. Miss on Soritatsu Kabe. He just times out on the triple uneven swing. Good position so far, though. Emily Montague. A fail on Soritat's Kabe and a fail on TUS. Out of the 49 shatters, 43 currently in the pool, only 30 will move on. Ethan Gardulski saving on Parlay, and of course he clears. Wow! Next is Evan Mail. He does. TUS. Difficult. More difficult than it looks. John Lucas Schmidt. Saving on Parlay. He beats the Klaxon. Very impressive. Giovanni Lopez. Miss on the climbing wall of Deepwater Solo, of all things. Triple uneven swing seals the deal. And D. Render. Next. When he clears with a second left. Nearly 2 seconds. But you know what? Close enough. Saving on the... That was a close finish, too. Saving on the last segment. Jeffrey Ritchie. Another clear. Saving on the last second. Jimmy Chang. Oh, the last segment. He had the time, too. Jonathan Raymond. Never mind. Jordan Collard. This one Soritat's Kabe. Triple uneven swing seals the deal. Hurricane Casillas. Of course, he clears, taking the top 5 spot. Casey DeViti. She clears. The few female shadows in the pool. Kevin Brecky. Saving on TUS, and he clears with a few seconds to spare. Host of Sasuke Nitro and Irish Warrior, Kyle Foley. He just is unable to make it up that cargo name. A lot more difficult than it looks. Leo Provo. You know what? Even math is difficult when you're on the time crunch. Luke Allen. Never mind. Mike Bernardo. 9. Saving on Odyssey, but he fails on Sonic Curve. Luke Allen is unfortunately your first elimination. Jonathan Raven's on the bubble. Giovanni Lopez is guaranteed to move on. Making his Omega debut is Pieglin. He unfortunately fails the second obstacle. Jonathan Raven's out of it. Kane Malden is on the bubble. Leo Provo is guaranteed to move on to Stage B. Philip Scott, Mr. Musso. He clears with more than 20 seconds left and eliminates Kane. Adrian Shung is on the bubble. Cheyenne Raya. Running next, let me... BGM real quick. Cheyenne Raya. Oh. Running on that last bar of the triple of TUS. Eliminating Adrian Chung, putting Alex Cunningham on the bubble. This is Teoma Shigulin. This on Soritat's Kabe, coming out on TUS. Cunningham's out. Pieglin's on the bubble. Topaz Neo going next. And he just times out by a few seconds. But he eliminates Pieglin. Mike Bernardo on the bubble. Leo Provo still guaranteed to move on. Co-host of Omega, Venny Kins. Never mind, Sonic Curve. Eliminates Mike Bernardo, Caleb Price on the bubble. All one's now guaranteed to move on. Not good for Venny. William Marquez, he needs a miracle right now. And that's not it. Marquez times out on TUS. Price is out of it. Venny is next, unless Xander Slager stumbles. Will not. Save on Odyssey. Unable to pass TUS. Eliminates Venny Kins. Yuchen Shao. Bested by Sonic Curve, he's out. Aikenstein. We get another clear at the end. Aussie Green, last to be eliminated at the end of Stage A. Now move on to Stage B. There have been a few adjustments, and by that I mean the whole stage has been changed. Stage B is now a tech stage instead of a split decision burnout or precision. Epic catch and release from A&W, double elevator climb from Proto Sasuke, Bombay Grasper is from CCN WTC, Neo Spider Walk from, I believe, Proto Sasuke. Yes. Grinding Gears, doorknob version, and finally, Mountain Flag from Proto Sasuke. Time limit of 120 seconds. Filler of Stage 1 is TUS, of course. Top 15 at the end of the stage move on to the main roster. He starts with Alt 1. Get his nameplate back. Here we go. Fails Epic CNR. Amber Rodriguez. Also failing Epic CNR. Bo Lewis. Again. Epic CNR. Billy Dixon. Oh, he makes it to the Neo Spider Walk. Before failing the Spider Walk segment. Brandon Buckwald. Never mind. Baba Ace. Oh, he gets to the double elevator climb but fails that. May need to replace Epic CNR. Curtis Tran. Tested by Epic CNR. Dan Buckles. DEC. Donovan Luster made it to Stage B. Let's see how he fares. Elevator climb. It'll be a 50-50 split between who makes it and who doesn't. Emily Montague. She definitely won't. Gardielski. And he definitely will. Saving on Grinding Gears. Makes it to the end. He does get a full clear. Not full clear. Evan Mail. Bombay Grasper. It's a run. John Lucas. Let me turn the BGM down a little bit. John Lucas Schmidt. Never mind. Giovanni Lopez. Oh, he times out at Grinding Gears. D-Render. Elevator climb. Double elevator climb. Whoa, no. Go back. Jeffrey Ritchie. Never mind. Jimmy Chang. Never mind. Jordan Cohort. Never mind. Kane Casillas. Never mind. Casey DeViti. Never mind. We might have a problem. Kevin Brecky. Thank you. Kyle Foley. Oh my god. Neil Provo. Never mind. Philip Scott. Oh, he saved it on the first one too. Raya. Yes! Bombay Grasper. Teoma Sigulin. Double elevator climb. Topaz. Never mind. Marquez. Bombay Grasper. Xander Slager. He times out of Grinding Gears by a few seconds. Finally, Ankenstein. Times out of Grinding Gears. One clear in Ethan Gardielski. Let's see who makes it into the main roster. Along with your Chatter's champion, which will be either Donovan Matoyer, one of 4 Chatters. It'll be either whoever makes it there. Following Chatters have made it to the main roster tonight. Alt 1, Bubba Ace, Donovan Luster, Teoma Sigulin, Dan Buckholz, Kevin Brecky, D-Render, William Marquez, Evan Mail, Cheyenne Raya, Billy Dixon, Giovanni Lopez, Xander Slager, Zach Akenstein, and Ethan Gardzielski. So they, along with your Chatter's champion, move on to the main roster next week. In the meantime, we're going to move on to the back half of the course. Stage 5 in a moment. Stage 5 is the newly adjusted Overvoid. It consists of 6 obstacles and is a balance stage. Sorry, 7 obstacles. First is Snake Bridge from Proto Sasuke. Directly into the slant edge from Kunoichi. Conviction Hill Type J from Josei no Muso. Next is a split decision between Fishbone Kai from Ultimate Kunoichi or Bofudol from regular Kunoichi. Spring Domes from Ultimate Kunoichi. Tornbun from Kunoichi. Go figure. And finally, a new obstacle in the Waiver Stairs from the Sharp Tank. A suspended balance beam with 4 levels. In other words, Waiver Bridge with 4 stairs. Last week's clear rate, 30 in Stage 5, 24 in Stage 6. Hopefully that never happens again. 5 in Stage 7. Obviously, 0 in Stage 8. Let's see how many reach Stage 6 this time. Kicking things off in the back half of the course is Elijah Browning. And he will clear. The time limit, by the way, is 130 seconds. Nora Brown John going next. And by the way, from this point on, if you clear, you clear. If you don't, you're out. Nora Brown John clears with 1/3 of a second left. Jackson Twait is our first fail on the Spring Domes. Running next, almost digested him, Tom Alberti. It's bested by Bofudol. K-Rod. Slant Edge. Tyler Smith. Save on Slant Edge, but he's bested by Conviction Hill Type J. Josiah Pipel. We do get another clear. 3 for 7. Kane just misses out on Stage 6. Probably not gonna have as many clears as we did last week, thankfully. Luke Dillon fails on level 3 of the Waiver Stairs. Brett Sims saving on the first beam, but failing on the second of the Snake Bridge. Donovan Matoya, he knows what he has to do. And he could not do it. He timed out by just over a second on the Waiver Stairs. Kajihara next. He's bested by Spring Domes. Sean Bryan, in order to take the lead in terms of chatters from Donovan Matoya, he must pass the stage. He will not. So it's down to Matoya, Moravsky, and Gardzielski, if I recall correctly. Samyach. He misses out by a few seconds. Moravsky, he's moving on. Donovan Matoya is no longer Chatter's champion. Halfway through what's left of the roster, we're down to 4 left. 4 clears out of 15. Moritz Hans, saving on Snake Bridge. He clears with just over a second and a half left. Sarah Boyd next. Fails on level 3 of the Waiver Stairs. Noirel, saving on the Slant Edge, missing on Bofudol. Salesman. Saving on level 1, and he manages to clear all 4 levels with just over 3 seconds left. 3 1/4. Amir Malik. Saving on Snake Bridge. He's bested by Conviction Hill, type J. Simon Brunner. Fails on Conviction Hill, type J. No, he fails on both of them. I believe we're down to 2 chatters, by the way. Because Morovsky failed. I cannot recall, we'll have to see. Gil Morantz. Time's out by a few seconds on the waiver stairs. Sanella. Failing on the waiver stairs as well. Flyboy. Isaiah Thomas fails on the last level. He had the time to. Damn. Erdos. Yes, he beats the Klaxon. 7 out of 25 left. Prokton. The most we can get is 12. Make that 11. He times out by 1/3 of a second. Kai Beckstrand. Further Luke watching on as he misses on the 17th board of the Torenban. Manages to get past it regardless and clear the stage with several seconds left. 8 remain. A save on the waiver stairs as well. Isabella Folsom trying to retain her women's championship. She may have well just done that. Saving on the waiver stairs. Noah Munier. Nearly beating the Klaxon. Finally, Oliver Lutman. He clears with just under 2 seconds left. That was a quick stage. Folks, let's have a look at our clear overview. In terms of debutants, obviously they're down and out. I believe there's still 2 women left. Nora Brown-John and Isabella Folsom. In terms of chatters, Joe Morovsky. And that's it. Meaning, your new Chatters champion is the Weatherman, Joe Morovsky, and he finally reaches stage 6. And he's finally your Chatters champion. Once again. And this is the 4th time he's pulled that off. He's a 4-time last Chatter standing and a 2-time Chatters champion. Women's Championship still yet to be decided. Stage 6 in a moment. Stage 6 is FTF. I cannot talk. FTL Supernova. It consists of 12 obstacles divided into 2 segments. The first is the time segment Milky Way. First obstacle is the Astroglider. Then we have shooting stars directly into sky mines, Space Invaders, and a split decision between Gateway Beams and Spare Change. And finally, capping off this stage is Earth from Super Rare. No bike required. Time limit is now 95 seconds. Whoever passes that will face the back half of stage 6, either Andromeda, consisting of peg clouds directly into double rumbling dice, skyhooks, Dragon's Back, double down directly into cheese wedges with a dismount, or Triangular, consisting of Ragnarok, atomic directly into the Atomic Grasper, Flying Saucers, Library of Pain, Big Dipper with tassels, and the final ring. Not whatever the other one was. The visual error has been fixed. So with that in mind, it's time to kick off stage 6. 11 remain. How many, if any, will become semi-finalist? 1 chatter, 2 women, no debutantes for obvious reasons, 3 stages away from breaking the upper limit. First to run tonight, Elijah Brown. Let's see what he does. He reach Andromeda. Or Triangulum. He will... I got to change the freaking background again. He does it with a few seconds left. He has a decision to make. Andromeda or Triangulum. He goes with Triangulum. Will become our 6th unique finalist tonight. Halfway through, Big Dipper. Final ring. No! Elijah Browning is denied a shot at stage 7. Has he even been to stage 7 before this point? I'm going to look. No, he is not. He was one obstacle away from finally becoming a semi-finalist, and he was unable to do that. Truly tragic way to end the run. Meanwhile, we move on to Nora Brown-John. The fight to become women's champion continues for the Canadian. So she fares in FTL. She moves on to the back half with a 1.5 seconds to spare. She may become our 4th ever female semi-finalist. There have only been 3. Taylor Green, Riley Porter, Olivia Vivian. Nora Brown-John could be number 4. It's time for her to make her selection. Andromeda. The road less traveled. Got Pet Clouds down. And for some reason, I forgot to change from Eyeglass Alley, and it took out Nora Brown-John. That is completely my bad. I forgot to change that. So all Folsom has to do is pass 6.7 or 6.8. Okay. Move on to Josiah Papel. 1 woman left. Papel. No clear so far. We're hoping he'll be the first. Milky Way. Moving on to the back half. So I'm gonna make a selection. Triangle. Again, so far, going into the back half. Saving on Flying Saucers. On to Final Ring. To prevent a wipeout on stage 6. Saving on the ring slide. Going for the dismount. Yes! We will have a stage 7, and I gotta get the BGM open really quick, because for some reason I once again forgot to do that. Oh, 1 second. And just like that, Josiah Papel is a semi-finalist. The 6th unique semi-finalist of this era, after multiple saves on Triangulum. Meanwhile, we move on to Joe Moravsky. He's got a big chance right now. It took him all this time to finally reach stage 6. He could be our first ever Shatter semi-finalist. We've never had one before. Multiple people have gone close. Julie Ferris against FTL Supernova. Fails on the 2nd obstacle, and that will do it for the Chatters. Ritz Pond running next. Space Invaders. Salesman Yuji Urushihara. Makes it to the back half with a few seconds to spare. What is your selection, Salesman? Andromeda. Which kind of sucks, because I forgot to replace Eyeglass Alley. But he manages to clear it. Saving on Skyhooks. 2 obstacles away, saving on double down, but Cheese Wedge just takes out the salesman. Should probably get rid of that. I'm gonna put that on my to-do list as well. Yes, I meant to autocorrect. Freaking stop. Okay. Andromeda is basically a death sentence. Few runners left to go. 1 clear so far. Jackson Erados running next. He makes it to the back half. Can't talk with several seconds to spare. And his selection is Triangulum. Saving on the first bar of Ragnarok, using his resiliency this early is not great. Saving on Library of Pain. 1 obstacle left. To become a semi-finalist again? Yes! Jackson Erados does it again. That's the wrong... I did not mean to do that. Erados is a semi-finalist once again. 7th unique semi-finalist of this era. And 2nd of tonight's tournament. Few runners left to go, if I recall correctly. We are down to 4. Kai Beckstrand going next. Fails on shooting stars, and that'll do it for the Beckstrands. Isabella Folsom, she knows what she has to do. If she beats wherever the heck freaking Nora Brown John got to. Eyeglass Alley, 6.7 or 6.8. If she passes that, then she will retain the women's championship. See what she does. And she moves on with a 2.5 left. And maybe she can become your 4th female semifinalist. Let's hope she doesn't pick Andromeda. What is her selection? Triangulum. And just like that, she is your women's champion. She retains the women's championship. But can she become a semi-finalist? Just final ring left. Isabella Folsom is going to stage 7. She is your 4th female. No. 4th female semi-finalist. I need to put that over there. There we go. Isabella Folsom. Only 3 women have done it before her. Riley Porter, Olivia Vivian, and I forgot the other one. Taylor Green. And now, Isabella Folsom is part of one of the most elite groups in Omega's history. Still got a few runners to go, though. Noam Jr., penultimate runner of the stage. Milky Way first. Beats the Klaxon. He's called the fastest ninja alive for a reason. Damn. Noam Jr. selects for the back half of stage 6. Triangulum. Can he become a semi-finalist again? Be the first time he's done it in this era. Multiple consecutive saves on Library of Pain. Final ring. The #1 ninja in the world gets a shot against the afterlife. Noam Jr. is our 9th unique semi-finalist. We are up to 4 clears. The best we can do is match the clear rate from last week. 1 runner left to go. Maybe one of the most impressive runs we've seen in a long time. That's the wrong BGM. Oliver Lubin, former semi-finalist. But it was all the way back in OMEGA⁴. In OMEGA⁴, he became the first man to beat Mount Bittergold. reason it was buffed. Nobody could beat it except for Tournament 22 when I forgot to add a rest point. Everyone beat it. See what he does in FTL Supernova. A save on Earth, and he makes it to the back half of Stage 6. Last run of Stage 6. Oliver, what is your selection? Triangular. So Andromeda is basically a death sentence. Can he actually become a semi-finalist again? No! Big Dipper. We are one short of the clear rate from last week. Let's have a look at our clear rate. 0 chatters, 0 debutantes, 1 woman in Stage 7. Patel, Eridos, Folsom, or Isabella Folsom, Jr. She is the last remaining barn burner. She outperformed both of her in-laws. Both of her fellow barn burners. All they can do is sit back and watch as your retaining women's champion takes on Stage 7. We're going to see that happen in a moment. Stage 7 is Unholy Trinity. It is the ultimate upper body gauntlet. It consists of 13 obstacles and is divided into 3 brutal sections. First is Inferno, all about core strength. Drum Mountain from Proto Sasuke. Omega Body Prop, which is an unused obstacle from Proto Sasuke. Double Devil directly into Donkey Teeth from the Shark Tank. Book holds in a semicircular configuration, almost like teeth extending from the jaw. Capping off Inferno is Monstro Climb. Next is the Bartek segment, Purgatoria. Noah's Ark, directly into On Guard, directly into the Salmon Sled. He managed to pass that. He's only been passed once. We then face the Finger Strength segment known as Paradise. Pressure Point, Slogies, Brad's Corner, directly into Good Luck, the deadly combo from the WNL. This time without a rest point. But the final obstacle in this stage, the last thing separating between these 5 and the final stage, the only unattempted obstacle on this stage so far, Heartbreak Armageddon, Super Lumberjack Climb, I-Beam Flip, and the Heartbreak consecutively, all into one obstacle, known as Heartbreak Armageddon. The farthest anyone's ever gotten into the stage is 7.12, that being Good Luck, the 4th ledge. And I'm going to check. Good Luck has 4 vertical limit ledges. It's essentially vertical limit burst before vertical limit burst. So Gavin Obey failed at the last ledge. So with that in mind, it's time to kick off Stage 7. 4 athletes remain. They now face the Unholy Trinity for a shot at the final stage. Running first, his first time reaching the semifinals, Stage 7. I can't talk. It is Josiah Papel. He now faces perhaps the most difficult upper body gauntlet in Ninja Machine's history to my knowledge. First segment is Inferno. We may very well end again on Stage 7. First, Josiah Papel faces Inferno, starting with Drum Mountain. This segment is all about core strength. Only 2 people have been past this opening segment of Stage 7. And Josiah Papel will not be one of them. An early exit for the new semifinalist. 3 athletes remain. This next one is one of the strongest in the world. He is a 2-time finalist as of the end of the last era, as well as this year's our most recent champion. He is an NSC champion and Omega's recent champion, Jackson Erdos, former #1 ninja in the world. He now faces the ultimate upper body gauntlet. He's beaten Amalgamated Afterlife twice in the last era, but he's never faced Unholy Trinity. Until now. Starting with Inferno. In order to take the lead from Papel, he's just gotta pass 2 more drums on Drum Mountain. Jackson Erdos has the lead. He's a Sharp Tank champion. He's an NSC champion. He's Omega's 3rd and most recent champion. He was at one point the #1 ninja in the world before Noam Jr. took that spot. He runs later. Omega body prop. No problem for Erdos. Double Devil. Good so far. Still got a lot of stamina left. He's gonna need it. Donkey Teeth. Still no rest points until he reaches 7.5. Monstro Climb. Good. But he fails the first jump of the Monstro Climb. We've just lost our champion. And we're halfway through what's left of the roster in Stage 7. 2 athletes remain. We are halfway through the remainder of this already stacked roster. But out of these 100, out of thousands that have attempted this course, only 4 have reached Stage 7 that are women. Riley Porter, Olivia Vivian, Taylor Green, and this woman. The last remaining member of the Barn Burners. And your 4th female semifinalist. Your defending women's champion, Isabella Folsom. Takes on Stage 7 for the first time. In order to take the all-time female progress record, which I believe is held by Olivia Vivian, she must reach 7 point something I unfortunately cannot recall. I will check really quick. In order to take the joint progress or record for women in this series, Isabella Folsom must pass 7.3. In this case, that is Double Devil. No woman has been to Stage 7 since the end of Omega 2. Nobody did it in Omega 3. But Folsom does it in Omega 4. Let's see how she does. Inferno. She's gotta pass Double Devil in order to take the all-time female progress record from Olivia Vivian and Riley Porter. Great so far. This is all about core strength, and women do have a different center of gravity. But she fails on the last jump of Drum Mountain, and as sad as it is, that'll do it for the women. maybe the last run of the night. One athlete remains. He is the WNL champion. He is the #1 ninja in the world. He is known as the fastest ninja alive. His name is Noah Munier. And this is his first time becoming a semi-finalist in this era. But it only gets more difficult from here. In fact, I don't think it's ever been this difficult in Stage 7. If he fails at any point, this tournament is over. It is final stage or bust for Noah Munier. In order to take the lead from Erdos, he has to beat the first jump of Monster Climb. Otherwise, Erdos will be your last man standing once again. This decides it all. Inferno. Let's see how it ends. Noah Munier versus the Unholy Trinity. The Divine Comedy of Ninja Machine. Drum Mountain. He's gone farther than Folsom, farther than Pipel. He just has a few more obstacles he must clear before he can surpass Erdos. Past Omega Body Prop, Double Devil. This is directly into Donkey Teeth. It is... Every single one of these obstacles is insanely difficult. There is no room for error at this point of the course. One jump away. He is your last man standing. He has the best result. Can he reach Purgatorio? Yes, he can. And he will. Noah Munier. Last man standing. One person has been past Purgatorio. That's Gavin Obey. The only other person to even reach Purgatorio was Kai Bexrand. And he was bested, I believe, in Noah's Ark. Hopefully, it won't end the same way for Noah Munier. Purgatorio. This could be how it all ends. Noah's Ark. I can't recall if he's faced Flying Bar Triple Deluxe before. But Noah's Ark is the first segment of that obstacle. Tournament 31 ended on the 4th cradle. Noah Munier trying to get that last jump. Yes! Now for On Guard. At the dismount of Noah's Ark. On Guard got the first jump. Now for the second. Yes, still no rest points. Salmon Slider. Saving on that third jump. Can he reach Paradiso? No! The dismount on the Salmon Slider ends this tournament. Noah Munier was so close to the grip strain segment. And if he got there, I believe he would have had a chance to reach the final. But that'll do it for this tournament of Omega. Let's have a look at the leaderboard, and I'll go over who missed what stage. Flip just missed out on stage 2. Kai Diol just missing out on stage 5. Or stage 3, sorry. What the hell am I talking about? Ryan Gill just missing out on stage 4. Eli Dagan, P31, missing out on stage 5 by 1 spot. Your best debutant is Ryan Guild. He will be number 51 next week. Joe Moravsky will be number 80. Isabella Folsom will once again be number 85. She is a 6-time women's champion. Let's have a look at your top 10 tonight. Joe Moravsky, Moritz Hans, Nora Brown John, Yuji Urushihara, Oliver Lutman, Eliza Browning, Isabella Folsom, Josiah Papel, I can't talk, Jackson Erdos, and your last man standing, Noah Newman. Until next time, this has been Omega-4 Upper Limit for Vinny Kins and Donovan Lusher. I've been Caleb Coldcloud. Fare thee well. We'll see you next week.